She hugged you first, and your body felt it before your mind could explain it. That moment wasn't accidental, casual, or meaningless, no matter what you were told. When a woman initiates a hug, she is crossing an invisible psychological threshold most men never notice. Touch is not neutral to the female brain. It is filtered through safety, trust, memory, and emotional risk. Before her arms ever moved, her nervous system ran a silent calculation, asking one question. Do I feel safe enough to let this man into my physical space? That calculation happens faster than thought, but it is never random. Men are often taught to believe women are impulsive with affection. In reality, women are selective to the point of self-protection, especially in a world where touch can be misread, judged, or punished. A hug initiated by her is not about politeness. It is about permission. She is allowing her body to communicate something her words may be holding back. Physical closeness releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, and women are acutely aware of its emotional consequences, even if unconsciously. This is why many women avoid initiating touch unless there is a reason. When she hugs you first, she is signaling comfort, familiarity, and a temporary suspension of emotional armor. That matters more than flirting lines or compliments ever could. But here is the truth most men are never told. A woman hugging you first does not automatically mean desire. It means trust. Desire can grow from trust, but trust does not grow from pressure. Too many men misinterpret this moment and rush to claim more than what was offered. They turn a gift into a threat, and once that happens, the door that opened quietly will close just as silently. As a psychologist, I have watched men sabotage powerful connections because they did not understand the language of touch. A hug is not an invitation to escalate. It is an invitation to stay grounded. It is her saying, without words, you are safe right now. How you respond determines whether that safety expands or disappears. If you stiffen, perform, or immediately try to turn the moment sexual, her nervous system records danger. If you remain calm, present, and unhurried, her body registers alignment. Women fall into attraction when their bodies feel regulated around a man, not excited, regulated. This is the beginning of emotional influence, not dominance, not control. Influence rooted in how she feels when she is near you. And it starts with a hug she chose to give. Understand this moment as information, not a reward. It tells you how she currently experiences you, not where the story must go. Your restraint becomes your signal. Your calm becomes memorable. Most men chase intensity. Few offer emotional steadiness. That difference is why certain men are trusted, remembered, and invited closer over time, while others are quietly kept at a distance forever. Silence, patience, and presence speak louder to her than declarations. There is something deeper happening inside her when she hugs you first, and it has nothing to do with romance the way movies sell it. It has everything to do with how her body experiences you as a man. Women do not evaluate men only with logic. They evaluate men with their nervous systems. Long before attraction becomes conscious, her body decides whether you are calming or chaotic, grounding or draining, safe or unpredictable. When she initiates a hug, her body is testing regulation. She is feeling how your chest rises, how your arms respond, how your energy meets hers. Is it rushed or patient? Is it tight or relaxed? Does it feel like you are trying to take something or simply meeting her where she is? These microsignals tell her more than your words ever could. This is why two men can receive the same hug and have completely different outcomes afterward. A man who needs the hug to mean something more immediately leaks neediness. His body stiffens or clings. His breath changes. His mind races ahead. She feels that shift instantly. Women are highly sensitive to changes in emotional pressure, especially through touch. When pressure enters the moment, safety exits. She may still smile, still talk, still be polite, but something in her closes. That closing is not punishment, it is protection. A man who understands the psychology stays present. He allows the hug to be what it is. No grabbing, no lingering longer than necessary, no performance. His body communicates steadiness. He is not trying to impress. He is not trying to claim. He is not trying to escalate. He is simply there. That simplicity creates contrast. Most men bring tension. Calm becomes rare. Rare becomes attractive. Here's the part that unsettles most men. A woman hugging you first is often her way of reconnecting emotionally, not necessarily advancing romantically. It can mean she feels understood. It can mean she feels emotionally seen. It can mean she feels relief around you. Men who mistake emotional closeness for sexual entitlement lose access to both. Women separate the two far more carefully than men do. This is why patience is power. When you do not rush to define the moment, you allow her to sit with how she feels around you. Attraction grows in reflection, not reaction. After the hug, her mind replays the interaction. Did she feel calm? Did she feel respected? Did she feel lighter afterward? Those answers determine what happens next, not what you say or text later. Most men think attraction is built by doing more. In reality, it is built by disturbing less. When she hugs you first, she is already leaning toward you emotionally. Your job is not to pull her closer, it is to avoid pushing her away. Masculine confidence is not shown by how much you take, but by how little you need to take in the moment. A man who can receive affection without grasping for meaning is rare, and rarity shapes desire in ways force never can. What most men never realize is that a woman remembers how she felt after the hug more than the hug itself. Memory is emotional, not factual. Her nervous system stores the aftertaste of the interaction. Did her body relax or did it tense? Did she feel held emotionally or did she feel evaluated? That quiet emotional residue decides whether she seeks you again or slowly pulls back. When a woman hugs you first, she is momentarily lowering her guard. That guard exists for a reason. Women are conditioned through experience to be cautious with physical closeness. So when she initiates it, she is observing what happens next, not testing you in a childish way, but assessing you in a survival way. Can this man handle closeness without trying to control it? Can he stay emotionally centered when given access? Many men fail here without saying a single wrong word. They fail with their energy. They lean in too fast afterward. They change their tone. They seek reassurance. They act as if something has shifted that must now be acknowledged. She notices immediately, and in that moment, she begins to feel responsible for your emotional state. Responsibility kills attraction faster than rejection ever could. A grounded man does the opposite. After the hug, he remains unchanged. His behavior does not spike. His interest does not suddenly inflate. His mood does not depend on what the hug meant. That consistency tells her something powerful. This man is stable. Stability allows desire to breathe. Inconsistent energy suffocates it. Here is the uncomfortable truth. A woman hugging you first can also be her checking if emotional intimacy feels safe with you before deciding whether she wants more or less distance. She is gathering data. How you respond adds to that data. You cannot talk your way into attraction after the fact. You can only avoid disqualifying yourself in the moment. This is why restraint is seductive, not because it is a tactic, but because it communicates self-sufficiency. A man who does not emotionally overreact to affection signals abundance. He is not starving for validation. He is not chasing closeness to fill a void. He is choosing connection, not needing it. That distinction is felt, not explained. Women are drawn to men whose emotional center does not shift based on small gestures. It makes them feel safe to express more over time. The hug becomes the first note in a longer rhythm, not a peak that must be repeated or escalated. And here is what many men miss completely. If you allow her to set the pace of physical closeness, she often accelerates it herself later. But if you rush, she breaks. Attraction is not built by interpreting every signal as a green light. It is built by responding to signals with emotional intelligence. When she hugs you first, she is not asking you to prove anything. She is watching whether you already have what cannot be taught easily: calm confidence, emotional regulation, and respect for unspoken boundaries. Those qualities are not loud. They are felt. And once felt, they are difficult to forget. By the time a woman hugs you first, she has already decided something important about you. Not about where the relationship is going, but about who you are in her internal hierarchy of men. You are no longer just an external presence. You are someone her body recognizes. And what happens next determines whether that recognition deepens into attraction, stays neutral, or quietly fades. Most men believe the critical moment is the hug itself. It isn't. The critical moment is who you are after the hug. Do you become more eager, more performative, more available than before? Or do you remain centered, steady, unchanged in your core? Women are drawn to men whose sense of self is not altered by access. When affection does not inflate your ego or collapse your discipline, it communicates emotional maturity at a level most men never reach. A woman's attraction grows when she feels free, not managed. When she hugs you first and senses that you are not trying to lock the moment into meaning, her nervous system relaxes further. That relaxation is where desire begins to quietly form. Not the explosive kind sold online, but the kind that lingers, the kind that brings her back, the kind that makes her think about you when you are not there. This is why emotional leadership matters more than chemistry. Emotional leadership means you set the tone by how you regulate yourself. You do not chase reassurance. You do not withdraw to punish. You do not escalate to test. You allow connection to unfold naturally. That patience reads as confidence. And confidence to a woman's psychology is safety paired with strength. Here is the final truth most men are never told. A woman hugging you first is not something to capitalize on. It is something to honor. When men treat moments of trust as opportunities to take, women learn to withhold. When men treat them as moments to respect, women lean in again willingly without being asked. Attraction is not built by decoding every action. It is built by becoming the kind of man whose presence feels steady, grounding, and emotionally clean. A man who does not need to interpret every hug, text, or glance. A man who lets actions breathe. That kind of man stands out because he is rare in a culture of urgency and insecurity. If you want to be unforgettable to a woman, stop trying to extract meaning from her gestures. Become someone whose response to closeness makes her feel more like herself, not more responsible for you. That is where feminine desire feels safe to grow. Now I want to ask you something personal and answer honestly. When a woman shows you affection, do you feel calm or do you feel the urge to secure it before it disappears? Write your answer in the comments. If this spoke to you, like the video, subscribe and share it with a friend who needs to hear this truth, but may not be ready to admit it.